What's up, everybody? It's Marcus. This is the Cove Recovery Podcast. This is
Parker.
And we're about to start talking about some really weird stuff. So
we talked about a lot in this episode. We talked about jealousy. We had no plan either. It was just bullshit. We talked about jealousy, inadequacy, OnlyFans.
Codependency, OnlyFans, and
you guys went off on a tangent about the UFC that I have nothing about.
That was
the
strange.
degradation of our moralistic compasses as human beings.
Yep. So, yeah.
We're all going to die.
It's a good episode, so keep watching it.
That's me all the time.
Confucius me. Confucius.
Confucius. I do want to tell that joke, but I don't know if I'd get in trouble.
What joke?
I was... you know what I'm talking about?
Nope.
What, the one that I texted you the other night?
About who?
About you got something in your beard or your mustache?
It's coffee.
I know what it is.
Oh, icicles. No, so Bree refers to me as her 2/3 boyfriend because she's afraid of commitment, right? Is this no? This one's all around, isn't it?
I think so.
Sounds funny.
Whatever.
No, it sounds deeper. Yeah, no, there's a blind spot right here.
Okay, then yeah, that means it's from the side, not from the top.
But anyways, is that better? That sounds way better.
I tried to make a joke out of that, but there
was nobody there to laugh.
But I still laughed.
So she refers to me that because she has, I don't want to say commitment issues, but like, because whatever.
My headphones went out.
I thought you said your headphones smell. So you got in trouble. You were telling us a story while we were fucking with the headphones.
Yeah.
I think we should talk about relationship stuff because you and I both have had some arguments with our females in the last 24 hours. And you're in the fucking honeymoon phase, so you don't even fucking count.
I'm not even considered full in a relationship.
3/5 human over here.
I think we should probably
explain that. Yeah, that sounds extremely racist.
Wow.
She's very much not a racist person. She's going to be very upset about this. I hope you know. Yeah. I'm going to try and hide this episode. We should name it something very inconspicuous, very boring. That way she doesn't want to try and listen to it. Or put this part towards the end because she gets bored and she turns them off.
No, we're gonna definitely make sure this is the front. I'm gonna send it to her several times.
Just the clip. So we are together. We spend a lot of time together. We're not every day, but like probably every other day. We do all the normal stuff that we're in a relationship, but we're both very, very fearful of commitment. So I've never been like, hey, let's be in a relationship. And she's never really been like, hey, let's be in a relationship. But she was telling somebody, I don't remember who it was, about me, and she was referring to me as her 2/3 boyfriend. And so like not a full-blown in a relationship. And I was telling Dan about it, and his fucked up brain immediately said, what?
I said, what are you, 3/5 human?
And I had never even considered
That's fucked up.
And for anybody who doesn't know their U.S. history, that's what slaves were like considered as at one point. They voted as a 3/5 human. So they had 3/5
they didn't even
of a
vote. They were just considered 3/5 human.
But I thought it was specifically for like voting, right?
Maybe. I don't know.
I'm dumb. I have no idea. But if I remember correctly from Dr. Cunningham's class of history, U.S. history pre-18 whatever, is that it was something about voting.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we went to go get froyo the other night, and I can't remember what I was saying. But I've been giving her a hard time about saying that. And when I told her what Dan said, she get upset, but she did not think it was that funny because she's afraid that it makes her sound racist, which it does. I mean, it's just a funny joke. And
Please don't say it does.
And so I told her, I said, I don't remember what I said because it's lost in my memory now because she goes, because I said something about me being a 2/3 boyfriend, 3/5 human, whatever. And she said, she just like without a pause, no hesitation, she just said, "You're not a slave. You may be whipped, but you're not a slave."
And wow.
Fucked.
That's great. That's gold.
Yeah.
And she's not like, she doesn't mess with dark humor at all. She's very, very like, she's very PC, like she's very kind and loving to everybody. But I don't know, I think she's just been spending too much time with me and maybe with us. She's heard some of the jokes that we've told each other, and like just a little spark of dark humor came out. And at first I don't think she understood.
how
fucked up it was until she was like, "Why are you laughing?" Because she was like, I immediately just started like almost crying. I was driving. I had to slow down, and I started like crying, and she was like, "Why?" Like I could tell she was like, "Why is this so funny?" And then I said, "You have no idea how funny this is." And then I texted him immediately, and then she was like started getting really embarrassed.
It was funny, bro.
I thought it was great.
Yeah.
She's gonna be very upset with me for telling that.
I feel like if you don't have a sense of dark humor in recovery, like, I don't know, you kind of have to. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta laugh to keep from crying because we go through so much fucked up shit, and we do so much fucked up shit in our addiction that, like, you have to learn to laugh at that kind of stuff. Like, I mean, you know, I'm sure if there was like a poll, I'm sure that we like are pretty deep down on the spectrum as far as like some of the darkest humor among a community, you know, or a population, you know, people in recovery. But you kind of have to be that way, and I don't know.
I mean, I think it's a very important part.
I do too.
Being in recovery, you know, we just had Thanksgiving with clients.
Yeah.
And they were just ragging on each other, like taking like low blows. But it was like all in love, and it was all in like everybody joked about it. But nobody took it wrong.
Yeah, because most of the time we're afraid to show love and like you get upset with me about that.
What?
That I don't show affection and love.
I do
to my friends in a
it bothers
traditional
me.
manner. It's like all these like all those guys that you're talking about. Like that's how they show each other their love, their admiration for each other because they're their masculinity is too fragile in that stage, and obviously mine's still a little too fragile.
Set yourself up. Oh fuck!
I told Phoenix I loved him the other night, and I was like, I had to text it to him.
You've told me you love me like once or twice, and I've probably said it to you 100 times.
Yeah, but it's usually as I'm on the way out, and I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna. It's not worth
asshole.
it.
It's a fucking asshole.
But I think that's why. I mean, at least for me, in my process, that's why like dark humor and like that kind of like, just like that. There's a disconnect for me. Like I'm too uncomfortable showing affection. I was raised like we said I love you when it was important, my family and I. But like what's funny, and I find this interesting now because like even now like in a relationship or whatever, if we're sitting close to each other and she like reaches over to touch me, there's a split second where I retract. And it's because that's how my family was. It wasn't like we didn't want to touch each other. It was just kind of like there was an awkwardness in that, in like physical touch. There was never physical touch involved in our family. And so like hugs are not that common. Nothing like cuddling with my parents was like not a thing. And I've seen like other like people like on Instagram or whatever, like they have like videos with their parents and they're like all cuddled up on the couch or something like that. It's just like that's weird to me.
Yeah, that's weird to me too.
It's weird.
Like I mean, we were told like I love you, son, you know, when we were growing up, but like one thing that always weirded me out, and I've come to realize like it's not that weird, but it seems so weird to me growing up, was like kids that kiss their parents on the mouth.
Ooh, yeah,
that's so weird to me.
Yeah,
Like,
I never even saw. I saw my parents kiss, like a little peck whenever my dad was going to work.
Right.
And it was like that was it. We never saw anything else. So like physical affection, anything like that was very.
I hope you didn't see anything else.
No, I mean, like, which I mean, like even like nothing else. Like no cuddling on the couch. No, they didn't hold each other's hands and stuff. I mean, they've been married forever, so like maybe that's just what I have to look forward to. But I don't know. But I just looking back at it now, any kind of like actual outward expression of affection or love is very foreign to me.
Right.
And so I retract from it. And so going back to what we were originally talking about, I have to show it in a different way. And it's usually kind of the way that my dad showed it to me. And it was just like roughhousing or like, you know, kind of talking shit a little bit. He never really did that, but like he was just like very kind of cold, like very closed off. So now my way it manifests for me is I talk shit about your stupid feet or something. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Anything that
what
makes
are you laughing at? You make me laugh.
I mean, anything that makes you uncomfortable makes me comfortable in showing my affection. I think.
I get that, and I hope this comes out right. But like, I have other Mexican friends or friends that grew up in a Mexican household, and that's more of the common thing with all the Mexican guys I've grown up with that I've been good, close friends with. You know, the machismo thing. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's just part of the culture. It's not necessarily a bad thing, or it's just different. And I have friends that are exactly like that too, where they just like if you say like "love you, bro," they'll be like, "All right." Like,
I get super uncomfortable.
It's hard for them to say it back, and like I don't take anything by it. I'm a big old softie. I'm like, "Love you, bro." Like I literally tell everybody I love them.
Yeah, if somebody tells me they love me, I immediately like a
it's
clinch inside me a little bit.
right. But
He's getting offended right now.
what are you thinking? Because you've been quiet and then just laughing over there.
I'm thinking like eventually he's gonna say it to me every time I say it to him.
Yeah.
I mean, it's eventually. I mean, it's been almost 3 years.
That you guys have been together.
I knew that was coming as soon as he said that. I was waiting for one of y'all two to say that.
Yeah, Dan. But I don't know. I was just thinking, I was like, well, fucking challenge accepted, bitch. Like, I'm gonna be pushing harder now.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's gonna get any better because of the way that I'm comfortable where I'm at now, because it's like, if I ever if I ever say anything like that, or if I show any kind of affection towards another human being, it's genuine. Because like I'm very reserved with it. I don't.
And I told Elise about this one day, and I told Mama Christy about this as well.
About me?
Yeah.
Why are you talking about me so much?
Get my name out your mouth, man.
You were literally just telling me how you and Dan were talking about my ass today.
That was yesterday, and it was disgusting. It wasn't like a affectionate conversation about your butt.
But I was telling them, I was like, Marcus's like way of sorry, or not necessarily sorry, just any kind of affection is like, he'll say sorry if he needs to. Like
I usually say I fucked up.
Huh?
Yeah. I have a hard time with the word sorry, but I said fucked up.
Like,
I accept responsibility for my actions.
Like, knowing he cares is like he puts in action. Like, he came over and put that like salt on Elise and I's front door steps and our little stairs. I think like for him, like bringing coffee and things like that like I don't think like a whole lot of people do. I think like little things like that is like how he does it. I don't know if he intentionally does that.
Yeah, I think that's probably my love language is acts of service.
Yeah. Because I know we've gotten into it like very like minute arguments. But both times, I don't know if you've known this, but both times the next day he brought me coffee.
Really?
Both times.
I was just starting to add that up too as he started talking about this. Like, wait a minute, what did I fucking do after these? Yep. Which is probably
both times he brought me coffee. Texted me, he was like, "Hey, you want coffee?"
And he just said sure one time, and I remember this because he was just like sure, and I was like, well, fuck, maybe I don't want to bring you coffee then, you asshole.
But dude,
I'm sorry, coffee.
I guess, yeah.
Dude, I'm a big softie. Like, I'll fucking, I don't know. I want to love everybody. I want to tell everybody. Like,
my masculinity is still very fragile.
Well, I think that's like, because I grew up like that, similar to that with like my dad and my brother. But I had my mom and sister that are the exact opposite.
Mm.
So like, I know when I first got sober, I like was still that way, like keep my distance. Mm-hmm. And then as I opened up more, I felt better.
Yeah.
Like I kind of felt like complete mixture between my mom and dad, like right down the middle.
I think on the other hand, though, I get worried about like when I do that. Part of me is it's like I don't want to, because I don't think this about you at all. But like for me, I would feel like sometimes I have to force it, and then it's like that's not genuine.
Right.
And so I get worried about that whenever I do impulsively want to be affectionate, because it's like, ooh, is this like me subconsciously forcing this out of me? So then it's like I question whether I'm being genuine or not in that moment. That's on one part of it, and on the other hand, it's like I get worried about getting hurt, because I think if I ever, like, it's such a significant thing for me, that to like be affectionate at all or to like show some sort of, I guess, vulnerability. It's significant enough for me that if I do that, it's to like signify that I care about somebody. And then if they don't respond in the way that I want them to or the way that I think they should, then I'm like, it like hurts me. You know what I mean? Right. Even if it's just like a friend or like somebody that I know, like an acquaintance that I've like been kind to for whatever reason, it's like subconsciously I still get worried that they're going to reject that gesture. They're going to like, you know, whatever. It's not a big deal. So I'm just much more, I guess, like prone to like not doing anything until like I get to a point where I'm close to somebody. Like I'll do stuff for you because I know you're not going to fucking shit on it. But like, and for you, like for you guys, because I know that y'all aren't going to take it for granted or anything like that. But I struggle with it with anybody else. Like even like with Bree, like I brought her flowers, and I was nervous as fuck about that because I'm like, oh, she's gonna fucking hate them. This is stupid. Who the fuck wants flowers? And granted, it was in the middle of the night. Like I had worked all day. We had some ridiculous shit go on at work, and she had a really bad day too. And so I just thought, well, this is the perfect time to do this. And I think my inhibitions had been like taken away a little bit because I was tired and I was stressed and I was just kind of overwhelmed. And I stopped at Market Street to get food at like 12:30 a.m. And I was just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna do it right now. And it turned out great. But in that moment, I was like, oh shit, what if she just fucking hates it? What if she's like annoyed that I'm coming over there at 1 o'clock in the morning to be nice? You know what I mean? But so that's what goes on in the back of my head whenever anytime I'm going to be affectionate or kind to somebody. And it's probably, I mean, that's all obviously very deep, old stuff that I haven't completely figured out yet, I'm sure.
Yeah. And I have this like block in my head, like thinking everybody else's love language is the same as mine.
Of course.
So like
that's what we all do.
And like so I know Marcus, like he cringes when I touch him, but I'm a big touchy guy.
Oh,
so
we
like,
fucking know.
So like
he's touching my butt more than my girlfriend has.
Swear, dude.
Yeah.
Straight up rimmed my asshole before with the finger. I'm like, dude, quit.
Ew.
Dan acts like he hadn't done it to me.
Ew. Leave me out of all of this. Leave me out of all of this.
But I don't know, like I'm that way with, like I had to learn from like my brother, like learn from him like pretty fucking early on not to touch my brother. Like he loses his shit. But me and my dad were kind of the same way, roughhousing around, and then like I try to do that with some people sometimes, and like
they get scared. You forget that you're 6'5".
But they get like, some people like take offense to it, like that I'm like trying to pick on them, right. Or like
because your hands are the size of my face. It's not fair. When you do that to me, it's not fair. It's not a fair fight at all.
And like I know, like we've had this conversation, like like no matter where I am, if like I'm trying to fuck with somebody and like have fun, like immediately, like if somebody else is in the room that like doesn't know like our relationship, they're immediately like, quit picking on Marcus. I'm like, what? I'm not. Like, I'm just trying to fuck around with them.
I'm playing right now, dude. I'm trying to play.
But like, so I was like, all right, I guess I just like can't do this in front of like people that like don't know our relationship that well.
Yeah. Well, and it doesn't help that
he does. He's an asshole.
I egg that on. If they're
Stop, like, yeah, he'll be like, oh, he is bullying me.
Yeah. Fucking hurting me, and like making a big deal about it. And like, no, he's never hurt me, but like he is much fucking bigger than me, and it makes me mad because like I'm not gonna do anything. You know what I mean?
Why are you getting mad?
Because like, fuck. I know I'm like, when you're not around, I feel like a normal sized man. And then when you put your body on my body, it doesn't feel like I'm normal sized anymore. It's like a small child. It's not fair. But it's like what he's talking about is like Christy. Well, because Christy's like this little 4'11", like she's everybody's mom. You know what I mean? Yeah. And she does. She's like, I can do whatever I want, and like I can fuck with him however. And she doesn't believe him. Yeah. Whenever
it's like, whenever he fucks with me, it's like, oh, he's getting back at him finally.
Yeah. It's like
But if you do it, you're the bully.
Yeah. Like one time, and I make it worse. Like one time he had me pinned in the corner of the office, and I don't remember what he was doing to me, but I couldn't do anything. I think he just had me wrapped up, but I couldn't move, and I was yelling, for her to come help. Yeah, for her to come help. And she comes running around the corner, and he like let me go, and like was just standing there like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. And then she's like,
she really came running thinking that you were in trouble.
I mean, she knows that it's just a game, but like she does. She just like comes like flying in there, like yelling at him to stop, and he's like, "What? I wasn't doing anything." And he's like, at that point, 2 feet away from me, and I'm just like curled up in the corner like an idiot. And I was like, and she's like, "Why? What are you screaming about?" And I was like, "He was fucking with me." And I don't remember. I told her what he did, and he was just like making his argument or whatever. Well, he forgets that there's a camera in there. So
this motherfucker.
So I was like, and she was like, "You better quit lying about him and like making me out to be the bad guy." It's like he's always picking on me or whatever. So I jumped up on the table because it's the fucking controls are above my head. I get up on the table and I rolled it back and she watched it, and sure enough, she believed me, and it was him fucking with me. And now I can say it anytime I want because she doesn't have the trust for him because he lied once already. Yeah, and it's perfect.
Broke the trust.
It's perfect.
Bullshit. But I mean, I'm that same way, like with Elise. Like,
you beat her up.
That is one thing that I do forget. That, like,
she's a woman and that you can't do that.
No,
to her?
like even with you, like, so like I have no meat like on my hands or feet.
Yeah.
And so like I'll grab her and she was like, "Stop!" And then she was like, "It hurts." I'm like, "What?" Like I barely like touched you, or like walk by and like push.
Stop.
And then I did it to him one day, and he was like,
Your fingers are sharp."
Yeah, he was like, "Your fingers are sharp." I was like, my nails aren't long. He goes, "No, your fingers are sharp."
The bones.
And I forget that like I have no cushion, so like when I do push somebody or grab somebody, it's like a fucking skeleton grabbing onto you.
Like a 250-pound skeleton just.
But I do that with her, and like that's still like kind of my way. Of course, I'm a lot softer with her.
Yeah.
But
he thinks he is.
I forget sometimes like that's not her love language.
Yeah.
And she lets me.
What is her love language?
Hers is like affirmations. She's not a big gift person.
Mm-hmm. She doesn't like to give gifts or receive gifts.
She loves to receive. She likes receiving gifts, but she's not a big like I want expensive jewelry or anything like that. Thoughtful like flowers will go a long way with her. Like she gets so excited, pulls out her vase, and like we'll even clean it. Things like that. Like that. She loves that kind of stuff. But sometimes I like try to force my love language on people until like I finally realize like, oh shit, like I didn't even take a second to think like this person does not want to be touched.
Yeah, I do that. I'm realizing that I do that as well. Like I'll kind of like I went out of town for Thanksgiving. I went Saturday and Sunday. I went to go see my parents, and I didn't want to take the dog with me because it's cold and it's like a little bit wet. And she stays outside of my parents, and she plays with the other dog, and she gets all dirty, and then I have to take her to the groomers. So it's like a whole process. Just taking her there when the weather's not great, it turns into like a week-long process of dealing with a smelly dog on the way back. She's disgusting, and it's just overall uncomfortable for me. So I was like, I called Bree, and I said, hey, would it be okay if I just left the dog here and you come feed her? And it was like last minute. I was on my way out the door. I realized that it was all shitty outside. And she goes, yeah, of course. And I said, okay, cool. Do you still have that key? Because I had given her a key for something a couple of weeks ago. And she goes, I don't know. I'm sure I do. And I was like, well, can you make sure? Otherwise the dog's going to be locked in here with nobody to, because there's no way to get in. And she was like, yeah, I don't know where it is right now. And what? What'd you forget?
Is your dog locked up in your house right now?
No.
It's not locked up in your house right now. Nobody's there? Is the dog alive?
My dogs are fine.
Whose dog is not okay?
You have the scaredest look on your face right now. What happened? Oh, God. Do we need to pause and come back?
Fuck.
Text whoever you need to text. Find out whatever
you're
you're doing.
You're good.
But so I asked her, like, do you have the key? And I'm gonna have to talk to her about this tonight, obviously, because like it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah.
But like in that moment, I was like,
She had no urgency.
no
about it.
urgency to like say, oh yeah, I have the key. I'll make sure and get the dog. Make sure the dog's taken care of. It was just like, yeah, I don't know. I'm driving right now. I can't look. And I was like, well, I wanted to say it's in your car somewhere. I know it's in your car somewhere. You just leave it. It's a loose key.
Yeah.
Now just floating around in her car somewhere. And I was like, in the back of my mind, I was like, why don't you care about this? And it's because like he's saying, like if somebody asks me to watch their dog, I'm gonna do everything I can to make sure the dog's like taken care
Here's
of.
the key. What time do you need me to feed her?
Yeah, exactly. Like know everything about it and like be on top of it, because that's my love language, to show somebody that I appreciate them or whatever, is just to do whatever they need me to do.
Right.
It's not hers. Hers is words of affirmation, physical touch, and time spent. Like those are her top three, right? Like she like I think she has good intentions with it sometimes, like with like acts of service, but it's just not her main thing.
Right.
She definitely tries, but like in that moment I was just like, please be more like me. Right. And it wasn't happening. I'm really curious to know what's going on over here. Is there? I think there's a dog at Jeopardy somewhere.
Yeah, it seemed like it.
And he was he was a irresponsible dog person.
Yeah. But you guys both have touched on something that's, I think, really interesting, and it's something that it's taken me a long time to understand too, is like understanding your own love language and understanding your partner's love language, and like it can be very difficult to navigate that sometimes. Like I'm kind of like Parker. I'm very touchy-feely. When I'm in a relationship, I want to fucking cuddle, like get over here, put your ass on me. I want to like spoon you into go to sleep, like. And some I've dated girls before that didn't like that, like as much as I did. You know what I'm saying? And then I've gone through periods too where I'm not like that, where I'm the opposite, where I'm like, fucking let me see her for a second, you know. But it's hard to navigate, you know, and especially in being in recovery. Like I personally have started to realize like how much I struggle with codependency, and it's like I don't know, I don't think I ever felt. I mean, maybe I did feel this way before I got sober. But it seems like for me, like if my partner is upset with me, it's really hard for me to think about anything else. Like it really bothers me, like to the point of where I can't like focus.
Can't compartmentalize that.
Yes.
Yep.
And that's kind of off topic, but I'm just saying like sometimes that kind of stuff happens because of miscommunications and not understanding your partner's love language, you know? So I don't know. It's kind of interesting topic. Maybe we can kind of go forward with that a little bit and talk about how you guys approach that, like how we all approach our differences in love language with our partners and with our friends too and family, because that's different too, you know. But I don't know. Also, is the dog okay? Whose dog is it?
I don't want to say.
I think I know whose dog it is. Is it multiple dogs?
No.
Oh, I don't know whose dog it is then.
It's one dog. It's a big dog.
What? Anyways, do you need to go?
I don't know. I'm texting them right now.
Did they leave it at home and you're supposed to go watch it?
I was backup. But the first person, I don't know how reliable they are right now.
Well, I mean, if you're backup, then you're not at fault.
I can cut this out if we need to.
No, it doesn't matter. We'll play judge and jury right now. You're off the hook. If there was somebody supposed to be involved before you, then it's their problem.
Yeah.
No, I think
I was asked to go check to make sure that person.
Oh, so you're checking on the checker.
Yeah, basically. I was supposed to go once Saturday. And
when do they come back?
I don't know. That's what I texted them.
Oh, yeah. Just go tonight after this. Make sure the dog's still alive. Dogs are resilient, man. I've left Hattie alone
he's
like
definitely capable of getting his own food.
I don't know what that means, but
like going to the store.
No, like
checking out, putting in the pin for the credit card.
Why does the dog have a credit card?
he'll chase something down for sure if he's that hungry.
What is it outside?
I don't know.
What is there inside for this dog to hunt? Is there a cat for the dog to go after at least?
There's one in the front yard.
There you go.
If he
it's
hops the
fine.
fence.
I'm so fucking nosy. I want to know who it is.
I know.
If y'all think of
I think I know. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, it's the dog is like the same as the owner.
I don't know what that means.
The same kind of energy, and
that's all dogs and humans.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah. That's why Hattie does so great on her own. I can leave. I've forgotten that she exists sometimes.
My dog's amazing because I'm gonna.
No, she's a lazy piece of shit. She requires no attention. She sleeps all day. She eats like once a day. She might need to go poop once a day. She could go like 2 days without having to go outside. It's weird. When she eventually she'll pee somewhere, but I've forgotten that she exists and she's just content with it.
Yeah.
She doesn't you let her out for like 15 minutes, she'll go run around, get the zoomies, and then she's like, all right, dude, that's all I need. I'm good. I'm tired. She's good. But I think what you were talking about with relationship stuff is a good point, because we've talked about relationships before, but how I'm like not that great at them, and it's because of a lot of those issues, like the codependency stuff. And Bree and I had a conversation at the beginning of our relationship about me being codependent, and dealing with a lot of those different issues of like insecurities and blah blah blah, and I still do. But like, I guess one of the differences now is that instead of just like giving up and being like, it's, blaming it all on her and like walking away from the situation, I've done a lot more this time over to understand that I'm at fault for most of those things. Like my insecurities caused most of the issues in my previous relationships. And in my mind, I was always like, oh, it's their problem. They just can't deal with me. They don't like me enough for me to just to deal with it, kind of thing. And when in reality, it's like nobody is gonna, like, in a healthy relationship won't put up with the shit that I've done, and she doesn't either. She's made it clear that she's not gonna do that, and so I've had to make an effort after realizing that most of these issues were my own. I've had to make an effort to work on my insecurities, like talk about what's going on with other people, and like do another 4-step, write a lot about the things that I feel, and start to really dissect, like when I get insecure about like jealousy or anything like that, or like infidelity. Like she's one of the most like kind people that I know. She would never do that. I know that she just wouldn't like go behind my back, and she's made it clear. But people have done that to me in the past. Yeah. And so it's like I bring all of those fears and concerns, and I wear them into this new relationship, and I bring them in and set them down in the middle of the table and say, here, this is, like, if you even make me think that you're doing this, I'm going to feel some sort of type of way. You know what I mean? And it's really unfortunate. It's really fucked up on her part, but it's equally as fucked up on mine too. Like, it's really unfortunate for her. Like, I feel bad for her as that person in the relationship, but at the same time, like, I know I have to take responsibility because I haven't gone through and fixed these things yet. But at the end of the day, like, somebody did hurt me. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so I brought all these things in there, and so it's hard on both of us.
Yeah, because it's not all your fault. It's not like you're just being a fucking asshole.
It's like, my fault that I haven't resolved them up to this point.
Right, but it's not your fault that it happened necessarily.
The reason they exist isn't necessarily my fault, right? I carry a lot of fault in still having these insecurities.
Right. Just like a 4-step. What's your part in it?
Yeah, exactly. But like the reason, like the just that they exist isn't necessarily 100% my fault. Like, sure, I played parts in it. Like, I was a shitty individual. Right. I was a bad person whenever these things happened to me. So I have to take, a percentage of the fault for them actually existing in that sense of, like, if I would have just been a better human being, there's a lot less likelihood that I would have got cheated on or that I would have been played with in that way. Excuse me. Yeah. But the reality of it is, like, I've taken those hits and those insecurities exist, and now I have to, like, put forth effort to resolve them in this relationship. Because I never thought about it. Like, when I was single for all those years, it was just like, that's not a problem. Like, it's not an issue that I'm dealing with every day, where I feel like I have these racing thoughts of, like, oh, I haven't talked to her all day. Like, I wonder what's going on. Not necessarily that that happens, but, like, that's an example of, like, that's happened before. It's like, hey, we haven't texted in like 6 hours. And it seems super juvenile and childish to think about, but my brain will run off sometimes. So like, oh, I wonder what's happening. You know what I mean? And I'll start making up.
Cheating on me?
Yeah, it's like I start making up these scenarios in my head, and that's where my codependency is like. Yeah. Is like I don't think I necessarily need to be with a person all the time or know what they're doing all the time, but my insecurities tell me that I do. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like and we've talked about this before. She'll ask like if I trust her. She'll ask, are you good?
Yeah, Parker was in the shot.
Oh.
And he was making weird faces.
Like she'll ask me like, do you trust me? And it's like, yeah, absolutely, I really do, because she's never done anything to me to make me feel like I don't trust her, but my insecurities are sometimes bigger than the trust that I have for her. Yeah. And that's what I think that's where my issues like with the relationships and codependency and all that stuff have really come from with any and all of my relationships where I've like even tried dating somebody. It's like I'm just too insecure sometimes. I feel like I'm not good enough. I'm going to get hurt somehow. Whatever the case may be, but we're dealing with it now, somehow, hopefully.
I think from the outside looking in, this is like the best like relationship I've seen you in.
Yeah, I agree.
So. Like I think a part of it is with like her. She's not gonna put up with your shit.
Yeah, she's not an asshole, but
like she knows what she wants, and if you're acting a certain way, she's gonna tell you.
She told me,
and I think that's healthy because that's exactly how Elise is. Like, as soon as I do something she don't like or she don't appreciate, she tells me like I don't want that to happen again, and it's like I know she means it, and I think that's good though,
Yeah, because it's given me like. Knowing that, having those firm boundaries from that side has given me, and if I wasn't in a good state of mind, if I wasn't like open to constructive criticism, it would be horrible. Right. I would have walked away. Right. But I'm in a good place in my life right now to be open to constructive criticism like that. So when she tells me that, it's like, okay, holy shit, that is a problem. Let me start tracing that back. And like it's helped this 4-step out a lot because I'm coming up with shit that I even talked about on my first one, but it was like, did I really know why that person was on there? Like I knew that somebody that I put down, it was like, I knew that they needed to be on there, but I didn't know really why. You know what I mean? I knew they'd hurt me in some way and there had been issues. There was a resentment there, but I didn't know what the gravity of it was. Now I understand. Like going through this process now where she's like, I'm not going to put up with this, and this because it's not healthy for me. Okay, well, let me start tracing back what this, and this is, and then I'll take one of those things and start going back. And it's like, holy shit, this person 6 years ago hurt me in a very specific way or, like, manipulated me in a very specific way or allowed me to manipulate them or however the case may have been. And now I've developed this characteristic, this character defect that I'm still acting out on today. Even 3.5 years sober after going through the steps and doing all this stuff. I still act out in that very specific way that began 6 or 7 years ago.
Right. Yeah, and it's like these things happen, and you just carry it with you, and you carry it into your next relationship until you resolve it, And it's like my current relationship, I genuinely know in my heart that it's like the healthiest relationship that I've ever been in. But we still have our issues, and like fucking 9 times out of 10, our issues are like shit from both of our past relationships. Yeah. Like she, I'll like something will upset me, and she reacts like I'm about to hit her or something, or maybe not a hitter, but she's expecting me to get fucking furious, and I'm not like that. Like when we argue, I'm calm. I'm like, hey, it's whatever, Like I'm like the opposite. Like I don't want to scream and yell. My parents screamed and yelled when I was a kid, so when I'm upset, I'm calmly like, okay, are you sure about this?
But has that ever caused her to feel like you don't care?
No, not necessarily. Maybe. I don't think. I mean, that's never came up when we've had our little tiffs. Yeah.
I mean, that's. Go ahead.
I mean, so, and I'm just saying, like, and then I do like kind of a similar thing whenever, like, I expect like if we're fighting, I think it's like we're about to break up, and that's not the case. Like we're just fighting. Like it's we're not like I say fighting, but we're not the kind that like screaming and shouting at each other, hitting each other. Mm-hmm. We just have little tips where we kind of argue.
Just like every relationship.
Yeah. But like for me, like all my past relationships have been like not good, and so like I just am like. And if we're having a tiff like this, an argument, like I think that like we're in risk of like the relationship ending, and that's not necessarily true either. It's just
no, yeah, I've dealt with that too, where it's just like that's another one of my insecurities, where it's like I'll start to shut down going into an argument or like some sort of disagreement because it's like I don't even want to start this because I know it's going to end with me getting hurt because it's happened like that before. So I'll start just shut down and then I'll play the victim and I'll try to manipulate my way out of it. And it's like, and I know when I'm doing it. And it's sick. I hate it.
I do the same shit too. And I'm like, you're the fucking one. You're being fucking selfish right now. And
dude, I think about it and I get pissed that I'm doing it, but I continue to do it because I'm fucking good at it.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I know I can win this. Yeah. Because I'm fucking good. I've perfected it for fucking 28 years. But the whole time I'm like, I know I'm going to make an amends for this, but I want to win this. I want me to be hurt less in this situation than she is. Yeah. But when you were talking about like leaving, like her leaving, y'all breaking up. When we first got together, it was both things. She wouldn't yell because she's very calm and very collected, and like she's a therapist. She fucking wants to process things and then talk it out. And I would get mad, and then she wouldn't get mad back. And I'm like, fuck, like she doesn't care.
That's what I was thinking.
It's like I was
feel
like
that way sometimes.
I'm like, what the fuck? Like she doesn't care. And then
fucking fight me right now. Yeah, fight me.
Yeah. And it took me a long time to realize like I need to give her a minute. And then she'll come back and we'll have a conversation. But like I'm so fucking heated, I'm like pacing around, like let's get this over with. Because I've always like, me and my family, we yell for 5 minutes and then we separate for 2 hours and then we come back and nothing happened. You know. But one of my biggest things was, I'm fucked up. I was just thinking about this more. Like, fuck. I'm afraid when things are going well, too. Because that's what happened with...
You pick a fight when things are going well?
Dude, what? Something it was...
You remember that time you got fucking mad at me over
bring something up from like 3 weeks ago?
Not even that. Like, I don't do that because I'm afraid we're going to get in an argument and then she's going to leave. I'm afraid of when things are going good from a past relationship where I was like talking about getting engaged to this girl. I'd already talked to her dad about it, and she came over for Christmas, brought gifts. I gave her her gift. I gave her little sister a gift, and then I didn't see her for 6 months after that. This was Christmas Eve, and like we of course like talked over the next couple of days. She ignored me, this and that, but like in my mind everything was great. Like still to this day I don't know why. Like, she just, like, up and just, like, vanished. Like, we have never had a conversation about it. Nothing. So, sometimes I'm like, this is, like, too good to be true. Like,
it's just going to walk away.
Right. I was like, Elise is going to do the same thing. And I, like, keep thinking I would just... And even getting close to the engagement, man, like, I started getting into that, like, same headspace. Of course, I called Michi, and he was just like, dude, your fear and your insecure, like, you're just fucking yourself up. And he was just like, stop and don't think about it. He was just like, go home, tell her what you're thinking about. Y'all talk about it, and then let it go. And then one of the things about, like, that I love about, like, having a good partner is she understands that. So then, like, the next, like, couple weeks she would like tell me like little things like I can't wait to spend the rest of my life with you, just like little things like that she just knew that I needed to hear. But still, man, I still, when we got mad the other day, it was the first time she's ever been jealous. She told me because we got in an argument and I had to go pick up stuff from a client's ex-girlfriend at her house and take it to the client. And she like texted me, and Elise looked at it as like being flirty. But she's just really a friendly person, you know? And whenever I got back Saturday, I was like, what's going on? She was like, I'm jealous. I was like, what? She was like, we got in an argument, and then you went and picked up stuff from this girl's house. She was like, I thought you were just going to say fuck it and move on. And I was like, what? I just fucking,
isn't it weird when you're on the other side of it?
I know.
When it's irrational. But, I mean, I am the one that's very irrational about it sometimes, but it is when you're on the other side of it. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's like, I had to go to work, and I had to leave you alone for a bit. I had to go chill out, and it's like, why would I leave?
To go by.
Yeah.
Okay, we had to take a bathroom break. Parker, you were telling us about Elise getting jealous.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
it is what it is.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's been a while since I was on the other side of the irrational, like
not the one feeling that way.
Yeah, but even him saying that now, and I know that it probably like it is irrational, and I'm sure it wasn't done like in a horrible way, but like it's like it opens my eyes to how fucking stupid I sound most of the time. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. When I'm like full of fear.
That's all it is. It's fucking fear.
It's fear
and inadequacy.
Yes.
Or at least for me. I'll use I statements, but
no,
it's inferiority for me. Like I don't know. I have no reason not to trust my girl. Like she's never done anything sketchy for me to be like, what the fuck, you know? Mm-hmm. And it's just, I know it's all me and it's projection. I'm just projecting my insecurities onto her, and I'm like, you know, and but it is funny when you see it in the other person. You're like, really, dude?
Yeah, because I'm the same way. I have no reason not to trust her, other than the fact she's way too fucking beautiful for me. Like, way.
That is the root of mine, too.
Yeah. It's like, are you sure that this is, like, it sometimes it blows my mind. And not to mention she's, like, motivated and dedicated to her shit. She's going to be successful. Like, she is successful. She's going to continue to be successful. All that stuff, like, it makes me very insecure on top of the fact that I'm already insecure. And that's kind of simple. Like, it's kind of fucked up because I should be real, and I am really proud of her, but I should just be like really proud of the fact that I'm involved.
Right.
Like I'm just happy to be here. Yeah. You know what I mean? But it doesn't matter. Like that insecurity's still there. But, yeah, I mean, it's weird seeing it on the other side of it because I don't think she's ever really done anything like that. And she, the same way that Parker was talking about, like she's really cognizant of my fears and my insecurities. I've been vocal about them, and so she won't enable them, but she will. She can tell like whenever I'm starting to shut down, and she'll give me like a little reassurance. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or she makes sure that I feel like cared about and loved, and like she'll send me a text or something, or like if we're together, she'll put her hand on me and make sure that I'm okay. Yeah. You know. So she at least does that, and that's very, very helpful. Very helpful.
Yeah. Do you guys struggle with like? Here's what I just recently realized that I do, and it's like, it's something that I really have to work on, and I think I'm gonna get back into therapy soon because of it. But I put my needs first sometimes, like maybe not my needs, but like what my wants first sometimes, because I think that it's justified because I'm so busy. You know what I'm saying? That like we should do what I want to do when I want to do it, because I have very little free time, and I'm like a little imposing my will on my partner and other situations in my life. Like I'm just like expect that I should get to do what I want to do, because yes, I work 2 jobs and I'm taking 17 hours of school and music and podcasts and all this shit, and it's like it doesn't really, it's still not justified just because I'm busy. I don't know, do y'all ever deal with that feeling? That like, have you ever recognized that in yourself that you do that, or am I just fucked up?
No, I've definitely done that. Especially,
I mean, we all deal with selfishness. I'm just saying that's what mine, I've recently realized, looks like. It's really hard sometimes to see it, It's really hard to see your own bullshit sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Well, unless it's just flagrant and obvious. But when it's like that, I'm fucking been with the same person for 2 years, and I just realized that I've done that on and off for 2 years. Like literally last night.
Yeah.
Like kept me up till 4 a.m. thinking about it. Like,
I think I go through those. I mean, I think it does come down to like how busy you are. 'Cause I've here recently, since I've been like working 40 hours of RA shifts, and then of course like doing other shit.
Yeah.
On top of that, like I do see that like I'll do that like even this weekend, like knowing that like I had to go do shit Saturday at work and Sunday. Like when I got home, I was like, we're gonna do what I want to do.
Yeah.
And didn't even think to like ask what she wanted to do, and it even comes down to like some shows that we want to watch.
Yeah.
Like I've been like, I haven't had a chance to watch my show. I'm gonna fucking watch it, and like not even have a conversation about it, anything like that. And
it's just assumed.
Yeah.
I do that, and that's what I was gonna say is that I do it without doing it. You know what I mean? I'll just like start doing something, and it's like you can come if you
right.
and it's like that's
what I do too.
Yeah.
I'm not so much like we're gonna do this because I want to do it. I just start doing something, and I expect her to just like be cool with it. And I didn't even ask or didn't even like see what like even show any signs of care about what she wants to do. Like,
yeah,
I'm bad about that whenever we go to my parents' house or we go to the cabin.
Yeah,
because I'm so used to doing like what we do when we go home, or what like we do when we go to the cabin. Yeah, like I know like as soon as I get there, I'm gonna say hello to everybody. I'm gonna get on the Ranger and I'm gonna drive around for 2 hours.
It's just something you've always done,
and not even think about maybe she wants to get something to eat, or maybe she wants to stay and hang out and talk to sandwich. Maybe she wants to stay and talk to mom.
Yeah,
or something. And I'm like immediately I'm just like, let's go do this, and don't even think about it. But I think it's just like I'm so used to that, and I thought about it whenever we went to the cabin last when I proposed, because I just got in the truck with my brother-in-law and we disappeared for like 3 hours.
Right.
And told her like we went and looked at this waterfall, this and that. She was like, yeah, I would have liked to go. I was like, fuck, man. Didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
I'm selfish for sure.
Yeah, no, I get that way. And I think I do it more so like with just everyday things. Like, cause like on my way over here, I called her and I know I did it on my way here. I did it. So I've been out of town. I left yesterday morning and I just got back an hour before I got here. I went home, took a shower. And so I called her, I texted her and told her I was home, but then I called her on my way here and I said, I'm going to go to the gym this evening if you want to go. And she's like, well, I think I'm going to work out right now. And that was like not my plan. So I got not annoyed, but I was just like, well, that fucks up my whole evening. You know what I mean? Because I was like, once we get done here, I'll go home. I need to eat dinner. And then I need to do a little bit of homework, and then I need to go to the gym. And I was just expecting her to do that pattern with me.
Yeah.
Without even fucking considering the fact that she's going to do something totally different. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And
totally.
So yeah, I do it. I did it today. I'm doing it right now. Like it's currently happening outside of this room. Because I did. I called and I was just like, oh, okay. Well, I wanted to go. Like, she's like, well, you can go do your podcast, and then you can go to the gym, and then we can go hang out. And I was like, well, but that's not my plan. Like, that's just not what I'm gonna do. Like, I'm hungry, so I have to eat before I go to the gym, like a couple hours. And so my whole plan was like laid out like that, and I was just expecting her to follow along. Yeah. Well, this is not gonna happen that way. She's working out right now, so like, now my fucking night's ruined.
Dude, I even get that way, like with like our normal routines.
Yeah.
Like I get so fucking offended when she doesn't want to do our normal routine.
Yeah.
Like I'm home already. I feed the dogs. I do this and that. She comes home. We do dinner, and then we hang out, watch TV.
Yeah.
Go do something real quick. Go to the store together, whatever. And then like whenever she like texts me on her way home, she was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go hang out with Hannah and Sarah." And it's like not even that like she's going to hang out with friends, or it's not even that. It's just like,
well,
what about our?
I might as well just go fuck off.
It's literally a what about me? Like it literally isn't like us and you. It's what about me?
And then like immediately, I'm like, well, what if I wish you would have told me, because then I would have fucking made plans with Marcus, or I would have I would have gone to the movie, or I would have, and I'm just like, fuck, man, like she, not even thinking maybe she had a hard day and she needs to talk to her other therapist friends.
Yeah, but
she needs help.
But on that, and you just said something that really like made me pop up.
Fuck, I'm selfish.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, there's a big, I'm fucking selfish too. I'm fucking literally. It's funny that I'm literally doing it right now. Like, I could text her right now, and tell her this. She's gonna be like, "What the fuck?" But what you just said too is like, it's like just expecting that person to be doing things with you. Like, it kind of, and I do this really bad. Like, I'll start planning my day around expecting for her to be a part of my day, and it's like. Sometimes she's going to be a part of my day, but if I go planning my day around her every single day, I think that's a big part of my codependency. You know what I mean? It's different for you guys because you guys live together. You know what I mean? So like it is much more often that y'all are going to spend your days together. But like my situation, if I'm planning my day around what she's doing or like when she's going to come over or like what she's going to be doing in the evening or whatever, it's like, whoa, wait a minute. Because I do that. I've gotten a little bit better about it now, but I used to do it really bad. Where it was like, and then whenever that would happen, she'd be like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna go do this." It would ruin my entire fucking plan for my day, and I would get mad. I'd get angry. Yeah. And it would be like for no reason I was angry. Yep. At least it appeared to be no reason. In my mind, I was angry because it ruined my fucking plan. You know what I mean?
Yep. Expectations lead to resentment, dog. Like, you good?
Yeah, I just had them on backwards.
But yeah, I mean, it's really hard to do because you have needs and wants, and like a lot of times I selfishly try to do things with my partner. Like I would be like, let's plan to spend time together, and in my mind I'm like, this is for her. You know what I'm saying? But really, I'm the one that's being selfish because I'm saying this time how I want it, like what I want to do, what I want us to do. You know what I'm saying? And like, it literally happened last night. Like, and then our plans changed. She went to hang out with friends, and then I got my feelings about it for no fucking reason. Like, we're young. Because
by God, you were going out of your way to spend time with her.
Yeah.
And then you came home and dropped a fire track.
Yeah, you got angry and rapped it out.
I don't know how I feel about it.
I think it's good.
I think it's good too.
I mean, we're all fucking biased, but
I want to add it to my playlist.
There's a rapper he raps exactly like that. I can't remember his name though.
But yeah,
what's your rap name?
I don't know.
Oh shit!
I don't know.
We're gonna come.
I probably will never put it out.
Oh, you have to now.
People are gonna at least send it to me. Jeez.
Yeah, send it to me too.
Okay,
put it on my YouTube.
Play it at the wedding, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's one thing that I heard. It was a while back. Going back to like the jealousy thing. That it like jealousy can be like looked at as like a good thing. Like her being jealous yesterday made me feel loved. It made me be like, damn, like she doesn't want me to leave.
Yeah, if it's done in a non-toxic way. Yeah.
Right.
I see
she
that.
wants me.
That makes sense.
And
probably the way that she's doing it is probably, I guess, I don't know if there's any healthy form of jealousy, but I think it's not hurting anybody.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But like immediately my fucked up brain was like, this makes me feel good.
Yeah.
How can I make her more jealous?
What can I do to get this dose?
Yeah, like immediately. And then like I took a second and like I started laughing out loud. And she was like, what? I was like, my brain is fucked. And like I immediately just like opened up to her about it. And then like after that, like I told her, I was like, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah. But then like I redirected myself into like, that's not what I want to do. Like basically spilled my heart out to her again. and that made her feel good. But whenever she first like was like, I'm jealous, like, and that's the first time she's ever said that.
Yeah.
And immediately my fucked up brain was like, how can I get this?
How do I get more of this drug?
Give me this. Give me more. But it was bad because like I get jealous and I don't fucking say shit.
Ooh, I can't do that.
Yeah, it's bad.
And I just like fucking go into like this depressed rabbit hole and just don't. Like, I don't know, man. It's bad. And she did it, I think, the right way. Like, immediately, like, probably when she felt that, she said it.
Yeah.
And we talked it out, and we got past it. Me, I'll get jealous, and I'll fucking just...
3 weeks later. He's ashamed.
Or or like, she'll be like, oh, I was with so-and-so. We had to work on this together. And then, like, exactly, like, 3 weeks later... she'll like come home and I'll be like, oh yeah, I bet you were with so and so in your office again, huh? That's why you came home late. I'm like, she's like, what the fuck are you?
I do shit like that too, and then I'd be like, oh, I'm just kidding, and like, but I'm fucking not.
Nope.
Like I'm not.
That's real,
dude. I do that all the time. Like, no, like, you really think I'd be mad about that?
You are.
I'll fucking walk into the room and like fucking punch the pillow.
Beat the dogs.
And now I have to continue going with the lie. When I walk back out, I have to put a fucking smile on and like, oh yeah, that was funny, huh?
Yeah,
dying inside.
I think I used to do that, but I haven't. Like, I think, was it last night? No, it was 2 nights ago because I wasn't here last night. 2 nights ago, we were sitting there doing homework at the desk, and somebody texted her, and I've never looked at her phone, and I know better. Like, I know that it's bad news for me to ever look at somebody's phone.
Yeah.
Just
From
like,
but do you think about it?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. I think about it.
I think about it.
Yeah,
I've never done
all
it,
the
but I
time.
think about it. Like,
It was at least like hands me your phone. She's like, if you're suspicious, go through it.
Yeah,
like,
Bree doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, I have my girl's phone
But
code, but it's just the act of it is ugly.
It's just bad. Like, because I can find anything in there, whether it be innocent or it's gonna. I can
take it that way.
It's like confirmation bias.
Yeah.
Like, if I go looking for it, I'm gonna find it. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter what it is. And
if Victor wasn't gay, I'd be so jealous.
You should still be jealous, my friend.
Fuck.
That's a very handsome man.
I know. But like they text all the time, and like I'll walk into the room and she has it on speakerphone, and I'll hear a man's voice. So like I walk over there and like
chest pops out,
and then I hear Victor, and I'm just like, oh okay.
Yes, queen.
But no, last night her phone went off, and I don't even look at it. And we were working on something for her, and so I had something up on my monitor, and she picked it up, and I was looking at it, and I asked her a question, and I looked at her, and she was making this weird face looking at her phone, and I was like, what? And she said, this guy just texted me, and I was like, okay. And then she just put it away, and I was like, what do you mean? Like, you have to elaborate on that a little bit more. And
what is it, a dick pic? Like, I need to know.
Yeah, I was like, I started getting really insecure, and I was like, what do you mean he just texted you? Like, what is happening right now? Like, I wanted to know more. You know what I mean? And that's why I cannot, like, if her phone goes off, I just hand it to her like I'm blind. You know what I mean? It's like, here, take this away from me, because I don't even want to look at it, because my mind will start racing down a fucking rabbit hole.
Yep.
And it's just not worth it for me. It's a lot easier for me to not know, because I know she's not going to do anything. Yeah. But if I see it, my mind will start telling me otherwise. Yeah. My insecurities. And then it kind of went into like we had a discussion about it, because I was just like, whatever. And I got mad. You know what I mean? And I just kind of started to shut down because I didn't want to have a fight. But then she's really good about not letting me just run away from it. Yeah. And so she's like, okay, we need to talk about it. I'm like, all right, I don't want to fucking talk about it, because I feel like an idiot, because I know that it's nothing, it's not a problem, but I'm fucking mad now, and I don't want to talk about it because I'm stupid. Like I start getting into my head about it. Then we talked about it, and it was fine ultimately, but and she was even really good about, like, she was like, listen, I could have done this better, or I could have done that better. And like justifying that or like making me realize that I wasn't the only one. Like, I was 90% in the wrong, but there was a very small percent that she had like taken part of. Like, she said, I probably shouldn't have, because the way she responded to his text, it was like, I perceived it wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she's like, I probably shouldn't have told you about any of it. And that was her part. And I was like, yeah, you're right. I didn't want to know any of that. I didn't even know any of that shit. You know what I mean? Because I know, like, from the bottom of my heart, I do trust her, and I know that she never didn't do anything like that. But when I hear the words, my insecurities are louder.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's what it is.
So here's a question I'll pose to both of you guys, since we all kind of deal with similar stuff. Could you date a girl? Could you date someone that had an OnlyFans? Could you date somebody who was a porn star? Could you date somebody who was a stripper? Any of those?
Go ahead.
Nope.
Well, is it
insecure? I mean,
I'm too small of a man.
Yeah. Just completely insecure. Yeah. Like there's.
I've thought about this a lot.
Me too.
Because go ahead.
I mean, I just couldn't. Like I can't even like.
Can't even rap. He's getting sweaty.
For sure. Like I can't even like begin to even like come up with like this is why I couldn't. Because like immediately it's just like no way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that might be fucked up, but I don't care.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
your preference. It's your boundary.
It would hurt me.
Yeah.
Way too much. Yeah. Way too often. I would just destroy myself.
I think it's okay for you to say that, because it's not that you're opposed to them doing that, opposed to anybody doing that. It's just that you're not in your own personal place. You're not to a place where you would be okay with that being your partner. And I mean, that's fair. And I
think that's fair.
Yeah, and I go back and forth with that, and I think I probably land in the same area, but I feel hypocritical. You know what I mean? Because I think it's great. I think sex work like that is when it's regulated and it's safe for the person taking part. I think it's fine. Yeah, I think it's great. I support it. The reason I said whoa, I was like, I was gonna say, I was gonna out myself, which is fine now. Whatever. I've discontinued all the subscriptions now. But I mean, like I have friends that do have an OnlyFans profile or whatever, and so that's how I got to the point where I was supporting it, right? And that's why I understand it from like a personal like perspective, because I know some people that are doing it. Yeah. And they do it in a safe way. They're comfortable doing it. They're confident doing it. They love taking part in it. They love posting it. They make a bunch of fucking money. Yeah. Man. I mean, like, I get it. Like, I can't be hypocritical, because I mean, like, it's the oldest thing that you
business in the world.
Yeah, the oldest business in the world. Sex work is the oldest business in the world. And so having some sort of like structure to it that legitimizes it and makes it safe and comfortable for everybody involved, I can support that. Do I want the person that I sleep with every night to be a part of that? No. And it makes me feel very hypocritical, because it's like,
no, fucking somebody's calling you.
I think I'm in the same boat. Like, I'm not by any means against that at all.
The industry.
Just for the industry at all. Like, for my sanity, I just couldn't. Yeah. Like.
Yeah, I think I would. I
don't think you're hypocritical at all.
I know that I'm not, because I know that it's just my personal but it's like, I feel hypocritical because like it's like great for everybody else, but not in my house, that kind of thing. You know what I mean? So I feel like I want to take responsibility for my own hypocrisy in that sense, but at the same time, I'm not like ashamed of it necessarily, because I know what I'm comfortable with. Right. And I know what, like, that it would just be painful for me. And it would be like, I'm not like, because people are like, oh, well, you're not cool with your girl doing OnlyFans. You must be really insecure. Yeah, I am.
I fucking am.
I am. Like, I'm not afraid to admit the fact that I would have a hard time dealing with it, that it would be very uncomfortable for me, and that it would put me in like a perpetual sense of like fear and just like anxiety. And we've joked about it. I think every couple's ever has joked about it. And I'm like, yeah, that'd be great. It'd be funny. We could do this and this. But then I get really sad whenever if she talks to anybody else about it, I'm like, fuck. Like, don't do that.
So I asked that because I've recently turned a corner on it, and I'll tell you why, and I'll tell you how.
I'm interested.
So my girl has a Patreon where she does like cosplay stuff, her game streams, and a couple like lewd type deals. You know, nothing like full nudity, and like, you know, she posted one and some like lingerie that that she got, and like I saw it first, and I got jealous. I was like, I thought that was for me. She's like, no, I got it with Patreon money. Like I got it to do that, and I was just like, ugh. And then I like did some reading online. I like saw a few Reddit posts, like different people discussing all this, and I talked to you about this last weekend when we hung out, and I kind of turned a corner where I realized I could either look at it, that kind of stuff, and I'm not saying like I would date a porn star. Like that's where I think I draw the line, is like somebody actually having sex with my partner. And some people are cool with that. People date porn stars and they fucking like it. Like it turns like for those people, it turns them on to think about maybe not. I don't know about the porn star thing, but like working with dating as OnlyFans person or dating a stripper or something. It turns them on to know that their partner is like someone that a lot of people would fucking die to like have sex with, And they're the ones that get to do it. Right. And I was like, I could see how that's like a way to cope with it and process it. Not saying it's super healthy, but the OnlyFans thing, it doesn't bother me. Now, I don't think I could date a porn star. Like that's where it'd be really fucking difficult, but I don't know. I mean, I think that I could date somebody with an OnlyFans just because like I want to be confident enough and who I am as a person, as a man, to be like, yeah, it doesn't bother me. Like I don't give a fuck.
I want to be that confident too, but I know that I'm not. You know what I mean? Like the reality of it is like maybe I'll get there one day. Right. But I'm not now. Yeah. I'm not. Yeah. I'm a little man.
Little man. But I don't know. I mean, it's just an interesting discussion question. And I think the whole culture around all that stuff is really interesting because like, I think it's probably wrecking shop on the porn industry right now because like, for the first time, like people who do porn and who are sex workers and do all that stuff have a way to,
they control it themselves
totally, and nobody else is fucking ripping them off. Like I know Mia Khalifa came out recently saying that she made very little money after all of fucking the things she's done in porn, and it's just like that's fucked up. Like, I'm all for meritocracy. Like I want people to get paid for the work that they do adequately. Like if we're gonna be part of this capitalist system, like it needs to at least be the best, fairest way possible, and regardless of what that is, porn, music, whatever. Your work should be valued and you should be paid for it and not get ripped off, so I'm for it.
I think this whole movement into creator produced anything is going to be better because when you think about it, anything like that, whether it be porn, fighting, art, music, anything like that, the creators themselves are the ones making the least amount of money off of this thing. It's the people that produce it, the people that are pushing it out to the masses. Like those are the people that are making the money off of it. Right. Like when you think about fighting,
the old model,
the old model that we're starting to phase out. I mean, when you think about it, like a UFC fighter makes not very much money
compared to what they make on the pay-per-view.
Yeah. Like think about how many millions the TV network and then the UFC and all the different people that are involved in it are making. The end user, the actual person involved with the action is making probably the least amount out of all the entities. The same way with porn, the porn industry. I mean, the porn industry, I think, makes up for like 35% of internet downloads,
probably,
or something like that.
I believe that.
Yeah, I think like 35% of what gets downloaded off of the internet is porn, and so when you think about it, it's like that's billions of dollars. It's got to be billions of dollars. You know what I mean? I've never actually bought like a subscription to
30%.
30% of internet downloads is porn. And so what is the annual gross revenue for like a one single porn company? I don't know any of the porn companies. Is there like big ones and little ones?
The pornography industry generates $12 billion annual revenue.
Okay, and what's like? So then, what about the highest paid?
Oh, the internet generates $2.5 million, but I feel like that's gonna be way lower from here on out.
After OnlyFans and I don't know any was Patreon. Is that like?
Patreon's more for like podcasting and stuff.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
It's less stigma. That's why she's on there.
Yeah, I got you.
But there's a lot of people that do more. Don't do porn on OnlyFans too. Like a bunch of comedians I follow have an OnlyFans where they post just bits that they don't actually post anywhere else. I think they do it because it's funny.
Because it's funny that like I'm an OnlyFans creator. Yeah. Ew.
Yeah, head on my OnlyFans. You're like, what?
I think it's probably what it was intended for originally, wasn't it?
I think it was always meant for porn type stuff.
Really?
I think so.
I always thought it was intended for like you get like a more intimate like conversation with the person that you subscribe to, like. Yeah. But whatever. Either way, it works great for both. But I mean, like the end user, like you're talking about, these big stars are not getting paid what they should be. Yep. And it's the same thing with like music. We've talked about the Spotify thing and any kind of internet streaming of music. Like the artists aren't getting paid what they're supposed to be getting paid. So now
I mean, music, it's never gonna go back. Like cat's out of the bag with that one.
Yeah.
Like, it's over. Like
and that one went backwards, right?
I think the music is the worst. I think I have a hard time with like the fighting, like the UFC and like just other sports of like them not getting paid enough. I don't know if it's just because what they still get paid is still a fucking lot of money to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. Some of them. I mean, you're thinking of like main card fights.
Not even, man. There's some that.
Like undercard fights, I don't think they're paying them much at all. Like a couple thousand.
No, they get more than that. They get more than that. And then like even bonuses, like.
Yeah, that's sick. I don't like that.
Like even like fight of the night.
I don't like that at all.
Things like that. Like some of them are like $100,000 or $200,000 if you get like fight of the night.
Yeah.
That's like.
But think about the other thing. To like.
But at the same time, they haven't. They might be fighting. But you still have to perform at the level to get paid that much. And if they're not performing at that level, then they don't deserve in the UFC that they're not at that level to get paid that much.
Right. Well, and I agree with that. But what I was going to say is that when you think about it, in order to be able to perform at that level, you have to spend months and months leading up to that to be able to have that performance. So that income isn't just for that night. That income is for the 6 months leading up to it. And for your trainer's income, your strength and conditioning coach, your gym memberships, your sparring partners, all the people that are involved in it. So like, I feel like it should be a substantial amount of money for the team.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because like, you know what I mean? Because it's an expensive.
Not just the fighter.
But I think to chase your dream, you have to struggle.
Oh yeah, I agree.
You have to go through the struggles of working a job and training 7 days a week. And I think that's like such the reward for so many people. And then we get people like McGregor that like puts a bad name on it. Like they're complaining that they're only getting $3 million a fight when we're making this much pay-per-view. And it's like, well, I mean,
yeah, those are the guys that I think the higher end main card fighters, and I'm not educated on this enough to really be talking about it, but I feel like those guys are probably making enough money to justify what they've done, right? Because then they can go off and they have a big enough name. If you have a name, you can sell that name to sponsors, and you can work on marketing and things like that. But I think it's the other underprivileged guys that are like they don't have a name yet. You know what I mean? They're working their asses off, and they're having to work 2 jobs to pay their bills, and they're having to pay their coach and all these different things. Or if they get granted, their coach can like just believe in them enough,
right?
And then they like they're on the line for all of that. But we're going down a whole different rabbit hole. I think the reality of it is like there's a lot of the industries that are like that, where the person that is actually producing the content, that the person who's actually bringing in all of the attraction is not getting paid, because you have to produce it, and then you have to distribute it, you have to edit it, you have to do that, you have to license it. There's all these different things that get in the way, where now, even like what we're doing here, there's 3 of us in here.
There's one guy that does all the work.
And Daniel does everything. You know what I mean? And
I'm just saying, I'm glad to do it.
But the reality, like this, like say doing something like this 15 years ago would have it been impossible. You know what I mean? Because there wasn't avenues to distribute things, creator-based distribution. You know what I mean? There wasn't a place for you to go just upload something and have a following and like.
Well, 15 years ago there was, maybe not 25 years ago.
Well, even 15 years ago, you needed much more knowledge, right?
Yeah,
you needed much more basic knowledge.
Yeah.
Whereas like,
shit, I wish we would have started this 15 years ago. Probably, you know what I mean? Early podcast days. Shit.
Yeah, fuck yeah. But I mean, even now, like, because it worked like that when it did, because the people that did it, that started it, you know, podcasting and having this form of media, only the people that really had an understanding for it could survive, right? It kind of like weeded out all the other bullshit ones. Whereas like now, there's a lot of there's thousands and thousands and millions.
There's a million podcasts on Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, and like how many of them are substantial? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the market's flooded now. You know what I mean? I think the reason that it worked so well, that it became so popular, was because before it became this popular, only the ones that really had something to contribute and knew how to distribute it were going to survive.
And that's an interesting aspect of the OnlyFans thing, is that
you got to have a good ass.
Well, that. But the reason that you can make money off of it is because it's taboo. But the more people that get on there, it will become less taboo it is, and it'll be worth less. And then you won't, you know what I'm saying? You'll be able to make as much as you can right now. Because if some people can get on there and make an easy $1,000 a month, if they just have social media following elsewhere, they're like, you know, just get on there and do it. I mean, that's just like the average person. I mean, and then there's the celebrities like that Bella Thorne chick. I don't know if you heard about this, but she made off of like $2 million in like 24 hours and didn't even show any nudity. Like,
holy cow!
Like
just because of who she was.
Yeah, she's like an actress. I think she's been in some Disney stuff. I can't remember what she's been in, but. And she you know, did an OnlyFans. She already had like 1 million followers on Instagram. So she
just posted it on there.
Yes, and then but it was no nudity, and then it blew up and like literally made like I think $2 or $4 million in less than 24 hours. But I mean, I don't know. It's weird. It's an interesting thing that's going on in the culture right now, and
I don't know who that is. I'm looking at her picture right now. I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I don't know her either.
Just the only reason I know of her is she was in an Adam Sandler movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, well, that's funny. But you're right. If it's flooded like this, then it's not going to be as valuable.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Value.
I don't know. I'm not. I also don't understand how it makes so much money if it's like, unless you're like getting subscriber after subscriber. But there's all kinds of stuff like where you can unlock special videos and stuff like that. But the other thing is, it's just like when I'm sure we're going to experience it when we release this podcast. We're going to jump to the top of some chart for the first week or so, and then it's going to just be like, then we're going to go back to just the normal, like.
Maybe.
You know what I mean?
I know that I've heard Rogan talk about how Apple Podcast does that, but I didn't do it on my podcast, but I didn't pay attention that close to it, so I really don't know. But
I think, and I don't know. I don't either. Like, I'm sure it happens with a very specific set of people, you know, just like whatever algorithm that picks, you know, 10 new podcasts and jumps them to the top of the list so that it creates interest. It's not necessarily to, and maybe part of it is to give like the viewership like new things, feeding the viewership new things. But on the other hand of it, I think is just to encourage you to continue to create. Yeah,
I know TikTok does that for sure.
Yeah, TikTok does it, but OnlyFans does it too.
TikTok.
I do too. I have to delete it.
You guys fucking, that's all y'all do is send me fucking videos of TikTok.
It makes me very
And I deleted
sad.
it, so I can't even actually watch them. Like, I have to watch them in the browser.
It makes me really sad. You delete it? I need to delete it.
I delete everything. I haven't been on social media much at all for a week now.
I'm very proud of you because it makes me depressed. TikTok really depresses me. Yeah. And let's move to that. But I want to first say OnlyFans does that with their creators too.
Yeah.
They jump them, like a new creator, they'll jump them up and put them in like the top. Y'all quit playing footsies. they put them in like the top, top 17% of most liked creators or whatever. I can't remember exactly what it is, but it's like something like that.
Oh,
They give them some sort of badge.
I've seen people post that in their Instagram bio.
Yeah. And it's a good way for the creator to say, hey,
like, this bitch?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, look, OnlyFans gave me this badge, and it says that I'm top whatever of all creators or whatever this week. And it's like, first of all,
yeah, they do that to everybody.
They do that to everybody.
A little participation trophy.
Yeah,
for
but
too much about this.
You have boobies.
But But it works on both sides of it because it's like the creator now feels like they're confident. It's like, oh shit, yeah, I'm recognized. People are seeing me.
Digs the tendrils in a little deeper.
Exactly, and it makes them want to continue to create. Yeah. It keeps them from getting discouraged. And then they have something to post and say, hey, you come over to OnlyFans. That's how I got on OnlyFans. Yeah. Like I'd never ever looked at it, never had a profile, and then this girl that I know sent me a deal that said that she was top whatever on OnlyFans, and I was like, I know her personally. That's crazy. Let me go look at what she's posting because it must be incredible. And it was whatever. Like, it was just normal shit. But
well, that's the funny thing too, right? Is like we've all seen tits. Like we've all, you know what I'm saying? It's not like
taboo though.
It's taboo. You're not supposed to post your nudes on the internet.
It's just normal people.
It's just normal people. It's not even porn stars or models or something.
That's why it's so popular.
It's crazy, bro. There's a psychological level to it that is dark in a sense because it's like you're manipulating someone's biology in a sense. Like there's a for men, like there's a biological thing where we're like, oh, like I just want to see it, and you probably pay for it, and they get it, and it's just like I don't know, it's just
it's like well, like it's I don't know, but it is biological. Like it's like something that you shouldn't be looking at, and it's something that you shouldn't have access to. And so
that's why porn is so popular on the internet. It's like and like I've heard there's this Christian comedian, or he was an ex-Christian. He's spiritual now, but he talked about how, and I don't know, I mean, I don't know if he was just bullshitting and guessing at this, but he said that this was a thing back in the day that when they had like a preacher like conference somewhere or whatever, like a Christian conference, that preachers would come and they'd stay in the same hotel. And that weekend, the hotel would sell more like of the porn thing, like HBO thing or whatever, more than any other weekend. Yeah. And it's just like, I don't know. It's
the same thing. It's the same dynamic.
Yeah, it's just taboo, and
it's tapping into the the not desirable, like you don't want anybody to know about this. You know what I mean? Like I don't know why the fuck I'm telling you this.
Yeah,
right
on
now.
The internet.
Yeah, it's stupid. Yeah. But
I've looked, dude.
And I guess the only reason I feel okay with it is because I did cancel all my subscriptions. Yeah. They won't renew. I feel like I should at least do that, being in a relationship. But, I mean, I don't know. It's what I was gonna say is that it is going to continually get worse. Yeah. Like it's going to continue to lessen our threshold. Our threshold's going to go down for like what is moral and what is not moral.
I think that's already happening. That's why step bro shit is or stepsister shit is the
number one downloaded thing, I think.
Yeah, it's like the number one viewed one, I would think. Like, I mean, at least when I go to Pornhub, that's all.
That's all it is. It's step bro, stepmom, like all these different like.
And then you see the TikTok like jokes like, oh, what are you doing, step bro? Like,
I saw that recently. I thought it was really weird. It's like it's
porn,
creeping into places where it shouldn't be, but it's what it is. It's to just like periodically lower our threshold for what is acceptable, what is socially acceptable, and eventually it's going to just be a free for all. And anything goes. It's going to be really uncomfortable.
Maybe. I mean, who knows what'll be the normal by the time we're in our 50s or 60s, you know what I'm saying?
Dude, I've been out of the game for so long.
You've been out of the game for a year.
Motherfucker, you ain't even got no games, son. Just kidding.
It's been since I started dating Elise.
It's been 2 years for me.
It's only been like a couple of months. I don't have nothing to say about that, I guess.
Well, I think we're almost at 2 hours, so I don't know if you guys want to wrap up.
I'm hungry.
Yeah, we can wrap up.
We cut a bunch of
check on the dog.
The dog's in there just destroyed everything. It's ate the TV.
That was a good one. We talked about a lot of shit.